Orlando Campos, CEO, Harlingen Economic Development Corporation.
What's been happening today, Orlando?
Well, today we partnered up with the RGV Partnership. They host industrial and commercial tours from time to time, and so we wanted to partner up with them and showcase everything that is happening here in Harlingen. So instead of doing a tour per se, we decided to put together two different panels, one that would talk about the community assets and what's happening in those areas related to the Port of Harlingen, Valley International Airport, as well as the City of Harlingen, to let potential investors, real estate brokers, bankers know of what is happening here in the community. In addition to that, we brought a panel of real estate professionals, individuals that are basically in the trenches working the local market so that they could share the projects that they're working with, their experiences here, and also give some input in terms of what's happening within the real estate market, both in the residential, industrial, as well as the commercial sectors.
Well, let's start with the panels, and let's start with the last panel, which was the the real estate expert, the construction expert.
Yes.
And there was a lady in the audience who was introduced,
Yes.
who seemed to have a very good project that she's working with Chris.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Sure. Mrs. Villarreal, who lives here in Harlingen. She's an entrepreneur. Her husband was a dentist here in Harlingen. He started up a dental assistance school within the community itself. Unfortunately, he passed away, but the legacy continues with his wife, who is moving forward with that project. But in addition to that, she recognized that pickleball is also a huge growing sport basically in the entire country. It has been slow in coming here to the Rio Grande Valley, but being an entrepreneur, recognizing the opportunities that exist in that market, she's continued to work with the developer of the medical school to open up indoor pickleball courts within Harlingen and sort of try to make it the pickleball mecca of the entire Rio Grande Valley. So we're very excited about that.
And you obviously gave an overview of what Harlingen's looking like, and that you had statistics on the PowerPoint presentation. One of them that was fascinating, and it would have been, I'm interested where you got it. It said that the valley's population will double by 2034. That would shock a lot of people.
Yeah, there were a few studies that that number is mentioned. It usually hovers between 2034 and 2040. But given all the growth that's happening here and the recent announcements by companies that are looking at expanding and relocating, I think that we will likely double in size well before 2040. And so those figures came from a study that was done by Rice University, as well as studies that have been done by the local workforce development boards, not just in Cameron County, but in the Upper Valley as well.
And in your presentation, you were making the point that the reason Harlingen's going to grow, just like lot of other communities in the valley, is because of this regional effort. You mentioned SpaceX and the LNG. They're both down in Brownsville, but Harlingen's going to be a beneficiary.
Yeah. When you look at the entire Rio Grande Valley, size-wise, it's about the same size as many large metropolitan cities throughout the entire country. For us here locally, when you tell them that you have to drive 20 or 30 minutes to work, it seems like an eternity. But people that are coming from these much larger metro areas, making a drive that takes an hour to get to work and back home is nothing to them. They're accustomed to that. So when you have investors that are looking at the Rio Grande Valley, they really recognize it as one region with a lot of strengths. And so Harlingen is ideally situated almost in the middle of the entire Rio Grande Valley to take advantage of the growth that is happening throughout the entire region. When you have large projects like SpaceX, the LNG plants, the other projects that are happening here in the area, individuals will not just look at the cities that these projects are located in, but they also want to see what else is around them. And so a lot of residents that now live in Harlingen, we've taken note that are working for some of these larger projects, and they've chosen Harlingen as a residence simply because of the reputation of the school district and also its location. They can take advantage of what's happening in the Upper Valley as well as in the Lower Valley in terms of quality of life and also what the community offers, which is advantageous.
In the Q&A, Ramiro from Cameron County Economic Development Corporation, he asked about the TERS developments that you have in Harlingen, and you answered that question, and you said there's something really special happening near the hospital.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, there's a large portion of undeveloped area that is located close to the hospital district, and that's within a TERS. And so we're right now working on a major mixed-use development for that area that will include residential as well as hospitality, hotel, and commercial spaces there. And so I think that is being spearheaded by the private developers in partnership with the city and the EDC to help catalyze and address some of the issues that have existed in the past. So hopefully in the next few months we'll be able to make an announcement of everything that is going to happen in that location that will certainly change the face of the community.
And because it's been led by the private sector, that means they must have confidence that Harlingen is going to grow.
Yes, the medical sector is a huge employment node for the city, and so it's become very, very attractive for a lot of developers and retailers and restaurants who want to be close to that area to take advantage of the employment that exists during the day. And so icing on the cake is the residential component that will be part of this development.
Well, those are all the questions I had, Orlando. Is there anything else, anything that jumped out of the page, off the page when you listened to those two panels, anything that really captured your thoughts?
I think one of the things that's very exciting, especially from the real estate panel, in the sense that these are private developers who work the entire Rio Grande Valley region. And so for me, one of the exciting things was hearing them talk about how easy it has become to do business here within the community. When I came on board, one of the things that I kept reiterating quite a bit was that we needed to be a little bit more collaborative. We needed to break institutional silos within the community so that we all work together to help benefit the community. And it's great to see that that is starting to change and people are recognizing that.
Yes, because you had the construction guy from the Upper Valley, from Edinburgh, who's now working down here.
Yes.
And he said things have changed in Harlingen.
Yes.
You're much more receptive, or not you, the city.
Yes.
The permitting process has become more streamlined, and they're now talking about an online way of doing things. Yeah,
the city is moving forward in a positive direction in the sense that they recognize the fact that they need to add more personnel with the permitting process. They need to make the permitting process more easy so that people can apply online for doing that. And so it's very exciting to see all this forward movement happening within the community. I think the other thing that I'll point out that the panel mentioned was, especially the individual from the Upper Valley, he said, you know, I came down here and I've recognized the opportunities that exist here. And so I'm a pioneer sort of in getting into the market at an early age because he recognizes that as more and more investment comes in, obviously that drives prices up. So he's definitely at the forefront.
That's a good sign.
Absolutely.
Orlando, thank you so much for today's interview. We've learned a lot from this discussion that you hosted today.
Well, thank you for being here. Okay.